The Dunning-Kruger effect is one of the most cited and most misunderstood findings in modern psychology. In popular culture, it is often simplified to a joke. Stupid people think they're smart. That is not what the research showed. The real insight is more subtle and more uncomfortable. Sometimes the very skills required to perform well are the same skills required to evaluate performance accurately. If those skills are missing, both performance and self-assessment suffer at the same time. This is not about intelligence. It is about metacognition, the ability to think about your own thinking. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger conducted experiments testing how well people could assess their own competence. Participants completed objective tests in areas like logical reasoning, grammar, and humor recognition. Afterward, they estimated how well they had performed compared to others. The pattern was striking. Those in the lowest performance group significantly overestimated their relative standing. Those in the highest group slightly underestimated theirs. The key finding was not arrogance. It was this: low performers often lacked the metacognitive skill necessary to recognize the depth of their own mistakes. This created what became known as a double burden. Low competence caused errors, and it also prevented recognition of those errors. The same deficit that created the mistake prevented awareness of the mistake. If you cannot detect the flaw, you cannot correct it, and confidence may remain artificially stable. Why does this happen? Because competence has multiple layers. There is execution, doing the task. There is conceptual understanding, knowing why it works. And there is evaluation, judging the quality of performance. Often, evaluation develops more slowly than execution. Partial knowledge creates a dangerous illusion. When thinking feels smooth, it feels correct. But recognition is not the same as understanding. Surface familiarity can inflate confidence because it reduces perceived uncertainty. Interestingly, high performers often slightly underestimate themselves. Why? Because deeper knowledge reveals complexity. The expert sees nuance. The novice sees simplicity. Greater understanding increases awareness of limitation. This is not insecurity. It is expanded perspective. At the center of all this is metacognition, the ability to monitor your own reasoning, to detect gaps, to adjust confidence. Metacognitive skill does not develop automatically. It grows through feedback, exposure, and deliberate reflection. Over time, the Dunning-Kruger effect became a cultural insult, but the research never suggested that some fixed group of people are permanently blind. It suggested something more universal. In any domain where we lack skill, we are vulnerable to miscalibration. You can be highly competent in one area and overconfident in another. The effect is situational, not personal. It operates silently. When performance and awareness are both low, there is no internal alarm, no discomfort, no corrective signal. That is why external feedback becomes essential. Confidence alone is not proof of accuracy. The question is not whether you have blind spots. Everyone does. The real question is, are you willing to look for them? The Dunning-Kruger effect introduces the mirror. In the next lesson, we will examine the four-quartile model more precisely and explore both overestimation and underestimation in detail.